AnnexA Control 5.4 Management Responsibilities. And before you tune out, because that sounds like the beige one, the one you skim past on the way to the firewalls and the encryption, let me tell you what this control actually is. This is the one where the standard turns round, looks your leadership team dead in the eye, and says, "Right, you, yes, you, off the fence." Because here's the thing, nobody says out loud. Most of AnnexA is about stuff. Systems, logs, keys, backups, access, things you can buy or configure or point at. AnnexA Control 5.4 is about people. Specifically, about the people who sign things. So what does it actually say? Management shall require all personnel to apply information security in accordance with the established information security policy. The topic-specific policies and the procedures of the organization require. That's the word. Not encourage, not support, not champion, require. Encourage is what you do with a company step count challenge. Require is what you do with expenses. And no, before you ask, this one is not new in the 2022 edition. It's the old AnnexA Control 7.2.1 from 2013. Same idea, tidier wording, sitting now in the organizational controls block. So you can't even claim it snuck up on you. Right, let's make this real. Let's talk about a 12-person software company. Call them anything you like. 12 people, one product, one customer who's just asked for a security questionnaire, and one person called Dave who is somehow the head of engineering, the head of information technology, the person who orders the coffee, and now, congratulations Dave, the information security lead. Dave writes the policy. It's a good policy. Genuinely, he puts in the password rules, the device rules, the don't put customer data in random third-party tools rule. He sends it round. Everyone clicks the little box. Lovely. 3 weeks later, the chief executive is pasting a customer spreadsheet into a free online converter because he's in an airport and he's in a hurry. That's AnnexA Control 5.4. That's the whole control right there in one small moment. Because the policy didn't fail. The policy was fine. What failed is that the person at the top treated the policy as something Dave does, a Dave thing, an engineering thing, a thing that happens somewhere downstairs. So let's break down what management is actually on the hook for here. There are basically 4 moves, and none of them involve a signature. Move 1, lead by example. If the leadership team has the exemption, you don't have a policy, you have a suggestion with a logo on it. And people notice. People always notice. Founder using their personal laptop with no disk encryption is louder than any training module you will ever buy. Move 2. Provide the resources. This is the one that gets quietly skipped. You cannot require Dave to enforce security across 12 people at pace, while also shipping the product, and then look surprised in 9 months when nothing has been maintained. Acquiring an outcome while starving it of hours is not leadership. That's just delegation with extra steps. Move 3. Make sure people actually know what's expected. Awareness, competence, the fact that everyone understands the bits of the policy that touch their job, not the whole document. Nobody in sales needs the incident classification matrix. They need to know what to do when a customer emails them a spreadsheet of personal data, unprompted at 4 on a Friday. Move 4. Hold people to it. Consequences. And I know, that word sounds heavy for a 12-person company where everyone eats lunch together. But consequences don't mean disciplinary hearings. Consequences can mean a conversation. A visible one. The chief executive saying, in a room, out loud, "Yeah, that was me. I did the thing we said we don't do. I've reported it. Here's what I'm doing instead." That is worth more than 400 pounds of e-learning. Now, failure modes. Let's do 3, because these are the ones you'll actually hit. Failure mode 1, the exemption at the top. Everyone in the company follows the rules except the 2 founders because they're busy and they're the founders. Here's the honest bit. You don't get away with this because someone catches you. You get away with it for ages. And that's exactly the problem. The rot is that everyone else quietly downgrades the policy in their head from rule to preference. Nobody announces that. They just start doing it. Failure mode 2. The signed and shelved policy. This is the classic. You buy a template pack, you rename the company, the leadership team approves it in a 15-minute agenda item, and it goes into a folder to be admired. Somebody asks a person on the team what the acceptable use rules are, and you get a long pause and a hopeful look at Dave. Adorable, genuinely. That gap between the document and the human is precisely what AnnexA Control 5.4 exists to close. Failure mode 3. No consequences, so nobody believes it. Somebody breaks the rule. Nothing happens. Somebody else breaks it a bit harder. Still, nothing. Within about 2 quarters, your policy has the enforcement weight of a sign asking people to please take their shoes off. Some will, most won't, and you cannot audit your way out of a belief problem. Let's place this one properly, because it doesn't live alone. It sits directly underneath AnnexA Control 5.1, Policies for Information Security, and it's the enforcement layer for it. Policy without management responsibility is decoration. It pairs with AnnexA Control 5.2, roles and responsibilities, because you can't require people to do a thing they were never told was theirs. It runs into AnnexA Control 6.2, terms and conditions of employment, which is where those obligations get written into the actual contract. And it powers AnnexA Control 6.3, awareness, education, and training, plus AnnexA Control 6.4, the disciplinary process, which is the formal end of consequences. And above the whole lot sits Clause 5.1 in the main standard, leadership and commitment. If your leadership team think that clause is a formality, AnnexA Control 5.4 is where that assumption goes to die. So what does good actually look like to 12 people? Not a governance board, please. No, you do not need a quarterly information security steering committee for a company that fits round one table. Good is, leadership visibly follows the same rules. Somebody senior, not Dave, owns the outcome. There's a standing 10 minutes on the leadership agenda for security, and it's minuted. Dave has actual protected budgeted time. And when something goes wrong, it gets named in the open without anyone getting torn apart for it. That's it. That's proportionate. Anything grander, and you're gold plating for an auditor who never asked. So here's the dare. Go and ask 3 people in your company, individually, not in a group chat where they can copy each other. Name one thing the security policy requires you to do, not the policy title, one thing. If you get 3 vague answers, your policy isn't a policy, it's a PDF. And if the person who signed it is the one who can't answer, well, you've just found your gap, and it isn't a technical one.